Good afternoon, world. It's Ivan O'Mara. I hope you guys enjoyed my show I made yesterday. I finished my shift today at Dinty's, so I get my 6 days off. Today went by fast. I started at 8, and before you know it, it was like 2:50, and I was done my shift, and I got to ride back home, right? I got a pack of smokes. I only have enough for 20 today and tomorrow. And then Friday midnight, I get paid my $600, right? But 20 pack is enough for me for today, right? I get 20 tomorrow, I'm good. And then midnight I get paid. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're a little bit harsh on the CFL. I know. I know I'm an asshole, all you American CFL players. I know I'm a dick and everything. Obviously, but the CFL does deserve to be exposed because they've been doing this for 70 years, man. Drafting the best Canadian players in Canada, who are the best players that have played the game up here. And the reason why they draft the best Canadian players is because the CFL is for the best Canadian players in Canada. The NFL is for the American guys. But they draft the best Canadian players. In Canada, they close the doors on them. They just bring up players from another country who are not draft picks. They're just players from a different country who are undrafted in their American Pro League, and then those guys are the legends up here instead of the best Canadian players. Obviously. So it's like, it's a very weird way of growing a league, and that's why I can't take the league seriously, obviously. It's weird. Yeah, and that's funny, I know. Yeah, and that's fucking weird. Yeah, it's weird, man, to do that. I wonder why CFL league's not growing, man. That's a very weird way of growing a league. You draft the best players in Canada, and you bring up players from a different country who are undrafted from their own pro league, and those guys are the legends up here in Canada. You induct them in the Canadian Hall of Fame with success and everything, but like, they're not your draft pick CFL. They're just players you just bring up from another country, right? Who did not get draft opportunities. So it's like, they're legends in league they never really want to play in. So it's like, it's weird. To me personally, that's how I feel. I don't know how you can name it. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's a bit weird. Even though they're legends up here and they killed up here, this was not their dream. They're only here by default, guys. That's why they're here, right? Otherwise, they never would have been legends in the CFL. No. Yeah. That's why I can't take the league seriously, obviously, because like the league, the CFL is the only pro league that does the weird shit, man. They draft the best Canadian players. They just bring up all these players from the States who are not the draft picks, and they're the stars up here. Yeah, and you wonder why your league's peaking at $300 million after 7 years of history, right? No one really cares about these guys that much, obviously, or they don't care about Canadian football. Yeah. Talking to all you American football fans, if the NFL, let's say for example, the European football players were the best football players in the world, right? I'm playing devil's advocate here, and all you American football fans, you saw the NFL draft, the league drafted the best players, but they closed the doors on all your draft picks, and they brought up the European players to play in the NFL because they envy the European talent. And they don't get the best talent, they get the leftover guys. And they bring them up to your league. And they have them be the stars, and they market them to you guys. Would you guys really care? Yeah, I wouldn't care, Ivan. And those players that they took from the European Football League, even though they're amazing players, they're not the greatest players in Europe. And they're the stars in your league over your own draft picks. And they're the legends in your league. So it's like, you wouldn't, you can't take the league seriously, right? And that's what the CFL's doing. They've been doing this for decades, man. Yeah, man. I always found it weird that the CFL did that, and that's why I can't take the league seriously. And that's part of why the league's not growing, CFL. Because I can't take the league seriously. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was just a fucking dick, man. I don't mean to be an asshole, all you American CFL players. That's just the truth, right? It's a very weird way of growing a pro league like that. It's a very weird way of growing a pro league. I don't hate guys missing, yeah. That's why Russ Jackson is the most respected CFL quarterback in history. The other fans don't only care about these American quarterbacks. They only care about Russ Jackson. Because Russ Jackson was the greatest Canadian quarterback to ever play the game up here in Canada. So far, anyways. And he's homegrown talent. Was all these American guys, even though they killed up here and everything, they're what? They know their dream wasn't playing here, and they're not the greatest players in America. So it's like, that's why the fans don't really care about these American legends, obviously. They don't care about these guys. Because they know that their dream wasn't playing here, and then they only play here by default. They're not the greatest players in America, the American guys who come here, right? They're not. They're the undrafted NFL players, right? That's why the fans don't really care about these guys. They love them, now. They don't really care about them that much, right? So it's tough for me to take the league seriously, obviously. CFL doesn't care though. We don't care if they're not the best players in America. They're very talented. Yeah, it's a very weird way of running the league, CFL. You just grab all these random guys from the States and you have them be the stars up here, and then like their legends up here and everything. It's cool, but like their dream wasn't playing here. Like it's a very weird way of growing the league, man. It's fucking weird, man. Instead of your best Canadian players being legends, you have these American guys from a different country who are not your draft picks, who didn't get their NFL shot, be your legends up here. Very weird way of growing the league. Yeah, that's funny. No. Yeah. See, doesn't care. We don't care. We don't care if they never want to be here. You know what I'm saying? They're more talented than our best Canadian draft picks. We have to bring up all these American guys when this is not even their league. They're not Canadian, they're American, and they're not the best players in the States, CFL. Obviously, and you expect fans to take your league seriously by bringing up, instead of having your best Canadian players play pro football, you bring up American guys who didn't get the NFL shot to be your stars up here and to be your legends in Canada. And like, you really expect fans to take your league seriously, CFL? Instead of your best Canadian players. Like, the players you bring up because you are not draft picks. They're not your draft picks, man. They're just players you just bring up here from a different country. When this is even not their league, right? They're not Canadian, right? They're American guys. And a lot of them are using their league as a farm league. But the CFL doesn't care. We don't care if even our legendary players, yeah, quite a bit of legendary CFL players even use the CFL as a farm league. And they lead to the NFL. Some of them come back, but they only came back because they didn't get their NFL shot. And like, you want to grow the league with those guys instead of your best Canadian players, and you wonder why your league's not growing, man. Like, there's your answer, right? Or I could be wrong. The Canadian talent doesn't make a difference, but something tells me the Canadian talent, if you market it well, your league will do $550 million in revenue after maybe 15 years. It'll boost, the revenue will go up. The quality will dip a little bit because they're not as talented as the American guys, but the fans are going to love the best Canadian players a lot more than these leftover American guys you bring up here, who are not the best players in America. I don't hate the guys. I'm saying, yeah. Sarah? Obviously. I do a lot of players in the CFL use the CFL as a farm league. Of course they do. Some of them end up staying, obviously. Quite a bit of them stay, but quite a bit of them use the CFL as a farm league, obviously, to get another NFL shot. The CFL doesn't care. Yeah, we don't care, Ivan, if they're using our league. They can just grab more guys from the States. Just grab random guys who are interested in the States and they're stars up here. And you expect the fans to be invested in your league and be invested in these players. When they're just random guys you brought up from the States, CFL, that you put on a negotiation list. Yeah, very weird. Ugh. That's the one thing I envy about the NFL. The NFL, I envy its popularity. It's so popular in the States, and when I watch the drafts, I actually take it seriously because I know a lot of these players are going to be star players. The league is actually invested in all these star players. The CFL, they're not invested in the Canadian players. They draft them to give them an opportunity to play football, but like they're gonna close the doors on them and just bring up all these American guys who are undrafted in the NFL, right? To be the stars up here and be their legends up here. Weird, you know. Yeah. I'll talk about even I'll talk about the SHL, right? You're not talking about Sky Source. I've been talking about Sky Source for like 7 years, guys. Most likely movies. I want to be movies on region, man. That's my dream. Yeah, it's better than movies. Is better than pro sports, right? I'd rather be movies on region than play pro hockey. But it's time to be a pro hockey player, obviously. Yeah. So having the CFL players get drafted, a lot of people know. Of course they do. A lot of people in Canada know. Quite a bit of them. A minority of them in Canada know. Especially the students at the universities, they know the players got drafted. They post the information, like when you log into the university website, the information is there. All the students see it. The CFL will make sure the university do that to market them, obviously. But yet, barely of them are stars, and I guarantee you, barely of those football fans at university are tuning into your games because none of your draft picks are stars. It's all these American guys who are not your draft picks, who you just bring up here from the States who are your stars. The CFL doesn't think the Canadian players are good. Yeah, they're not good enough. That's why we have to bring up the American guys. Yeah, only that does that. Yeah. The Pro League in Japan trusts the best Japanese players to put on good enough quality with people in Japan. The Japanese are not even as good as the Canadians. They're actually amazing football players, the Japanese players. Almost as good as our number 3 after the Americans and Canadians, right? Japanese football players are amazing football players. They beat Team USA. I'm not lying, guys. They beat your Team USA, right? That's how good they are. They almost beat our Team Canada, too. Amazing football players. And that's good enough for the people of Japan. But because the CFL's emphasis of the NFLs, they're just blinded by the talent. That's why they don't think, even though it is more than good enough, when you compare it to the best American players in the NFL, it's a significant dip in quality. It's like a 14%, 13% dip in quality when you compare the best American players, the best Canadian players. The CFL sees it as a letdown, a bit of a letdown. It's not good enough. They're not satisfied with it. That's why they just bring up all these random American guys who are not even their draft picks to be the stars up here, and who are not the best players in America, and those guys are legends in your league, CFL, and like, you wonder why your league's not growing, right? So, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Does the CFL commissioner know the American players not the best players? Of course he does. They're not stupid. They know they're not. They're undrafted players. Obviously, that's why when the commissioner of the CFL speaks, that's why I can't take the league seriously. When the CFL commissioner speaks, he says, "Yeah, we have some of the best talent in the world." He can't say the best talent because he knows the American guys he brings up here are not the best talent in the States. That's why he says we have some of the best football talent in the world playing here. He says some of the best. Obviously, he spins it obviously because he knows he has to try to find a way to spin it because he knows these American players he brings up here are not the best players in the States. Best players in the States are playing in the NFL, man. With the Canadian players, you don't have to spin it, man. Yeah, this is the best talent in this country. But you can't say that with the American players. That's why it's tough for me to resonate with American players. It's tough for me to take the CFL league seriously, man. I can't take the league seriously, right? That's how I feel personally as a Canadian. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Every time when they have to spin it because they know these. Don't hate me, American players, and see. Well, they know these American players aren't the best players in the CFL. Best players in America. They're not the best players in America. Come on. That's why the CFL commissioner spins it, obviously. We have some of the best talent in the world playing here, obviously. can't say the best talent because the American players playing in the CFL are not the best American talent. No, they're the leftover guys. Amazing talent, but they're not the best talent in the States, right? Yeah, only yeah. Was the Canadian players are actually the best talent in Canada. They're the greatest players in Canada. The American guys that CFL brings up here are not the best players from America. They're not the best players in the States. Only the guys from saying, yeah, not the best players. Yeah. That's what really the CFL was not growing. Yeah, the CFL was relying blindly on just random amazing talent in the States to grow their league in Canada. Obviously, and you wonder why you're unknowns to Canadian people, and you wonder why your league's not growing. Instead of growing it with more known talent and your draft picks, obviously, growing your league with your Canadian draft picks instead of growing it with random American, amazing talent, but it's random players that they just bring up from the States, and they just have them be the stars of here who people in Canada know nothing about. They're putting on the show CFL, but like obviously people in Canada don't really care about these American guys, right? They don't really care about these guys. Yeah, random talent, man. Obviously, but they don't care that they're random talent. They don't care that they're unknowns because they're very talented and they're putting on a show. They think by the entertainment value of the game going up, that's how they grow the league. But I mean, people in Canada obviously they're not familiar with the brand you're trying to sell CFL. They're random players you just bring up from the States, man, who are not your draft picks, man. And this is not their league. They're only here by default, guys. They're only here because they can get an NFL shot. And they usually get a farm to get an NFL shot. And you market them to people in Canada, you pray your league grows. But I mean, that's why your league's not growing. There you go. I hear cheese, I know. Yeah, that's why obviously the CFL commissioner and the board of governors, when I've been exposing the CFL over the past couple of months, they're obviously, yeah, you're embarrassing us, Ivan. You're putting us to shame. You're making us like fools. Well, you get deserve, man. You've been doing this for 70 years. This is not right. Because they're blinded by the American talent. Why are you having random players from a different country who no one in Canada knows anything about, even though they're talented, be your stars up here instead of your best Canadian players who you drafted? Ivan, they're not talented enough. No. They're talented enough. It's just not on the NFL's level. The real question is it good enough for the Canadian people? If it's good enough for the Canadian people and the people are having a blast in the games and your league boosts in revenue, it's worth it. But Ivan, it's not good enough, Ivan. We're not satisfied. Yeah, you're not satisfied because you're blinded by the NFL's talent pool, obviously. We're envious of it. Yeah, we're envious of the NFL's talent pool. Can't get the best players, we got to get the leftover guys. We're not your draft picks. They're undrafted players in a different country who are your stars instead of your own draft picks. Very weird. Yeah, and that's fucking weird. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a very weird way of growing your league, CFL. Because we're blinded by the town. Right, we're blinded by town. It's too good. We have to just have you. Yeah, we have to just bring up all these American guys, have these who are not even your draft picks. Yeah. Very weird, man. Could you imagine, all you American football fans, if the NFL drafted the best American players and they closed the doors on them and they just brought up talent from a different country who are undrafted players, they're not even the best players in that country, they're undrafted players. They bring them up to America and they're the stars of your league and they market them to you guys. And now those guys are now the legends of your league. Would you take the league seriously? Would you resonate with these players? No, I wouldn't. We think the league is kind of a joke. Yeah, it's kind of a joke, right? You can't really take it seriously, obviously. Right? Yeah, there you go. That's what the CFL's doing in Canada, right? They've been doing it for 70 years. 70 years of CFL history, right? Yeah. All right, you think the Canadian players in CFL on your side? Of course they are. They're all my side. Yeah, Ivan, thank you for setting up for us Canadian players, man. Yeah, I'm the voice, man. I'm the voice. I can say whatever the fuck I want. I don't work in the league. So I don't have to worry about losing my job. I can say whatever the fuck I want. Obviously. In the CFL, I know I'm a dick. CFL, but you guys deserve to be exposed, man. You've been doing this for like 70 years. You're blinded by the American talent. You draft the best players, you close the doors on them because you're not satisfied with the quality of the product, and you choose to bring unknown product from a different country, obviously, and have them be the stars up here, and have them be your legends, obviously, who are undrafted in their own pro league in America. You have those guys be your legends up here, obviously. Very weird, obviously, right? Yeah. Why do you respect the CFL Legends? Yes, I do. I respect what the CFL Legends did up here, but I can't take the league seriously because I know this was not their dream, man. Their dream is not playing here. They're only here because they didn't get their NFL shot. At the same time, I don't mean to be an asshole, guys. If you want to say I'm wearing a mask on stuff, these CFL Legends who killed up here are not the best American players who played the game from America, man. They're leftover guys. They're the NFL rejects, so it's tough for me to resonate with the players. It's tough for me to take the league seriously, obviously. I can't take it seriously. They honor them at the game. This guy is a legend. Yeah, he's a legend, but I know this guy's dream wasn't playing here. That legend is only here by default. I respect them. They killed up here. I really do respect what they did up here. But they're only here because they didn't get their NFL shot. And they're not the best players from the States. And so it's a bit weird. It's tough to resonate with these American players who were stars up here, who killed it up here, right? It's tough for me to resonate with these guys. All you guys I'm saying, yeah. All you can hear was, yeah, I mean, you got a good point there. It's a bit weird. The dream's not playing here, and they're not the best players in America, guys. They're not the best American players in America. Whereas the Canadian players are actually the greatest players who played the game up here. Obviously. So you can resonate more with the Canadian players. The American guys, you can't resonate with those guys. Their dream's not playing here. They're only here by default. They go, yeah. Only here by default. Talking about CFL, and I'm going to go back to the SHL, right? Yeah. Why do the CFL fans respect Warren Moon? Yes, they do. The CFL fans love Warren Moon. They respect what he did up here, but they respect Russ Jackson even more than Warren Moon, man. Obviously, because Warren Moon, they know he used the CFL to get another NFL shot. Not stupid. He had a legendary career up here, 5 straight championships, NFL opportunity, he leaves in the NFL. Obviously, so it's tough to resonate with these American players, right? Yeah. They respect Russ Jackson even more than Warren Moon because Warren Moon's American. The CFL's not for the American players, man. It's for the Canadian players. That's why the fans don't really care about the American guys because this is not their league. They're only playing in this league because they didn't get an NFL shot. That's why the CFL fans love the Canadian players more. You know, it's Canadian legends because they know this is their league. Their homegrown talent. They're the greatest players to play the game. Because the American guys, this is not their league. Their league is the NFL. So the players playing here are only here because they didn't get their NFL shot. The fans do love them and they respect what they did up here and everything. Of course they do. They love them. Even I respect the CFL Legends what they did. I really do. I know this was not the dream. The dream's not playing here, man. They're only here by default. Matt Dunnigan, Anthony Calvillo, obviously Ricky Ray. They're all these quarterbacks, great quarterbacks. Doug Flutie. They're only here by default. They're only here because they didn't get their NFL shot. Obviously. Yeah. That's why you can't really resonate with these American players. Only have guys from Sunny out. I'm sorry. Yeah. Why do the CFL Legends, when you do documentaries about them, they let the fans know they don't want to disrespect the CFL, but when they do a documentary about some of the CFL Legends, they talk about their legendary CFL career. Amazing story, obviously. You can tell they don't want to disrespect the CFL. They say it in such a way whereby it's not my dream. My dream wasn't playing here. I didn't get my NFL opportunity, but I had an opportunity to play football up here, and they killed up here. But I mean, we know that we don't. Yeah, the CFL doesn't care. Obviously, yeah, we don't care if they use our CFL. They ever want to be here. This is how we grow the league, Ivan. because they're just blinded by the American talent, obviously. Yeah, we're blinded by it, Ivan. That's how we grow the league. Yeah, well, you've been bringing up these American guys and closing all the door on all your draft picks for 70 plus years, and you're only peaking at $300 million. So obviously something's not right, right? Yeah. That's why you can't register American players. Yes, because the CFL legends who play in the CFL, obviously, they're not draft picks. They're just random guys the CFL just like puts on a negotiation list. They just bring them up here, and they happen to kill the league up here. But I mean, they're just a random American undrafted NFL player, an NFL American player who just happens to kill it up here, and then they become legends. Yeah, it's cool and everything, but I mean, they're not they're not your draft picks. They're just guys you just grabbed from the States, right? So it's like, and their dream wasn't really playing here. It's tough to take the league seriously, obviously. I can't take the league seriously. No, yeah. Yeah. Does the CFL study film on American players on stuff? No, they don't. No, the American players is not like that. The American players, the CFL, they just go to a game and and they'll talk to maybe NFL scouts maybe, and they ask, hey, who are the guys who like might not get undrafted, and they, oh yeah, this guy, and they just choose guys and they put them on negotiations who they're interested in. They don't study film on these guys or anything like that. Yeah, they're just like random guys that just graft from the States, right? Whereas the Canadian players, they study film and all of them and everything. They draft them. They draft them. They study film on them. They do their research, everything. The American players, they don't do that much research on them. They just put players on a negotiation list from the States who are undrafted, right? Or who didn't get their NFL shot. Those are the guys they grab up here. And some of those guys happen to kill it up here, but I mean, they're legends. But I mean, it's a very weird way of growing league CFL. Just picking random guys from the States and have them be stars up here, and you expect your league to grow, and then they become your legends. But it's a very weird way of growing your league. Instead of your best Canadian draft picks who invested in your time in, you know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. Yeah. I mean, that's funny, I know. Yeah. 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 He's Ivan. That's funny. I know. That's funny. I know it's funny. So, yeah. Yeah, and the fans must really respect. Oh yeah, they have a trophy named after Russ Jackson. And Russ Jackson is not the greatest CFL quarterback in history. No, the greatest CFL quarterback is Anthony Calvillo in CFL history. He put up like 80,000 yards in the CFL. He had an amazing career up here. Fans love Russ Jackson more than him and Matt Duggan and Ricky Ray. Why? Because he's Canadian, man. That's how you know CFL. So you're telling me if you market 9 Canadian franchise quarterbacks and they become legends in the league, the fans are going to love these Canadian quarterbacks, man, more than these American guys you bring up here, man. They have a trophy named after Russ Jackson. Like, you know the Heisman in the NCAA? Yeah, the Heisman. Yeah, you have something like that for Russ Jackson for the university awards. A big, like, nice, shiny trophy to honor him at the awards. They don't have anything like that for any of these American guys, right? Not even Warren Moon. Because the fans not stupid. They know Warren Moon's dream was not playing here. He used the CFL as a farm to get an NFL shot, like, duh. Yeah, Ivan, you're right. Even though I killed up here in the CFL, and I was a legend up here in the CFL, I use the league as a farm league. My dream, yeah, Warren Moon's dream was not playing in the CFL. That's why he left the NFL. Yeah. 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 Oh, you're such a fucking dick. I know all you American football players. You think I'm a dick in the CFL, but you guys look down on us Canadian players. So yeah, we do. We're preparing you Canadian guys. Yes, you are guys, but this is not your league. You don't deserve to be the stars up here. The best Canadian players are the stars up here, not you guys. You guys are not. You guys are not the CFL's draft picks. You're just random guys they picked from the States, man. You didn't get your NFL shot. And you're the stars up here in Canada over our own best Canadian players. How's that fair, guys? If the NFL did that, how would you guys feel if the NFL did that, guys? They just brought up players from a different country who are not the best players from that country and have them be the stars in your league over your the best talent in your country who you care more about. And those guys are legends in your league. Would you take your league seriously? No, I would. You can't take the league seriously if the league did that. But that's what CFL's doing. Because they're just weird, obviously. They're just, we're blind. They're blinded by the American tag. Yeah, we're blinded by it, Ivan. We have to close the doors on all these Canadian guys are not good enough. We got to bring up all these random guys from States having these stars up here. And I told you, CFL, if you want these American guys to be stars in your league, you got to market them to Canadian people. Can say that. You have to market them. But no one in Canada knows anything about these guys you bring up here. But they don't care. We don't care if they don't know anything about them. When they become stars, yeah, some of the fans know their names and everything, but like, they're American, they're not from here, and they're not, this is not their league. And they're not your draft pick CFL. They're just random guys you brought up from another country, right? You want to grow your Canadian football league. It's common sense, CFL. You grow it with your Canadian talent, your draft picks, man. But they don't think that, yeah, we know it, Ivan, but they're not good enough, Ivan, they're not good enough quality football. No, it's good enough quality football. It's just not on the NFL's level. But you're trying. Yeah, why? You're trying to be the NFL of Canada. Stop trying to be the NFL of Canada. Just focus on being the CFL of Canada. Forget about the NFL. The NFL's for the American football fans. The CFL's for the Canadian football fans. Stop trying to be the NFL of Canada CFL. You're never going to be the NFL. Obviously. Yeah. I hope the league grows. Maybe the American talent is the way to go. I highly doubt it, but hopefully the league can grow. But I highly doubt the league will grow. Obviously. That's all you guys can say. Yeah. Probably SHL. Yeah. Wait a second, guys. Get some food. I'm fucking hungry. All you extra athletes, Ivan, man, don't do that, man. If you do that, you're gonna crush us. Well, you guys get what you deserve, right? I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to play with like Connor Davis, Sidney Crosby, Gretzky, and all those guys. Or whatever. That's fucking glory, obviously. Yeah, Ivan, you're gonna crush us. I know. That's fucking cool, obviously, right? That's why they're gonna be crushed because those guys are gonna wish they played in my league. Yeah, if we do that, they're gonna crush us. Yeah. And they're not even like they got to be successful. Yeah, they're successful, the actual athletes, but they're not as famous as the athletes playing in my league. Obviously, they miss out on all the fun, man. Crazy fans, and they miss out on all that money too. They would have made way more money working in my league than they would have made working in the NHL. Obviously, yeah. Got some Sarah? Yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna have all the rules. Yeah, VJ will be the meeting with me, obviously. She'll be the meeting with me when I start that pro league with the board governors. Yeah. Will we support? Yeah, she would. She'll think I'm crazy though. Ivan, you're crazy. You'd rather be a pro athlete than be a movie star? I mean, no, VJ, I don't be a movie star. You. Ivan, you be a pro athlete still cool too. Yeah, it's fucking cool, VJ. Yeah, I'll just do my music, Ivan. You can be a pro hockey player, but what if you flop, Ivan? I won't flop, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? And she's I don't worry about you. You'll be a star. You have the genes. You have the genes. Yeah, I mean, what you show us is you without training. That's like magic. Yeah, I have the God given talents, obviously, right? Yeah. No, I mean, the way you stick handle is like unique. The puck kind of stays with the stick. Yeah, it's a gift that I have. Yeah. That's why the guy was shocked by my stick handling skills, like 14 years ago, when I was playing hockey with a kid. He's like, holy shit! He's like, you're an amazing stick handler. Yeah, you shocked my stick handling skills. That's me with no training, right? I could flop as a player. I won't take that risk, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So Ivan, what do the star athletes peak at in your league? Don't peak any higher than 32 million for a star athlete. That's enough. Yeah. Ivan, not 40, 50. No, they're not worth that. 40, 50 is too much. No, you're going to drain the cap and you won't have enough cap to pay other players. 32 million is enough. Only generational talent gets 35 to 50. They're worth that, obviously. I told you, generational players, there's only maybe 2, 3 players playing every 8, 15 years in the league. So only like 3 players in my league every upcoming 8, 15 years will be making their 40, $50 million. And the other guys all peak at $32 million. That's how it works. So the guy's amazing talent, but they're a bit more normal on the ice, but they're amazing. They put on the show. Those guys don't peak any higher than 30 million. Like guys like Brad Marchand, Malkin, McKinnon, those guys, don't hear me guys, those guys don't peak any higher than $30 million. If a talent like that was playing in my league, that's good enough for those guys. They don't make any NHL, right? Yeah. Obviously, they make like 8, 9 in the NHL, those guys. Yeah. And they get league revenue, but don't pay them any more than $14 million of league revenue. Don't pay them any more than that. That's good enough. Yeah. And they get their like, I don't know, $2.5-4 million magazine deals. I mean, how many magazine deals do you want in their contract? Have maybe 3 magazine deals in their contract. Every maybe 3 years, they get a magazine. They get featured. I'm not going to have them be featured in a magazine every year. No. They get a magazine deal maybe every 3 years. They get like $3.5-4 million deal. Obviously, and every season they get at the how do you want them to get the league revenue? Pay them the league revenue at the end of the season. It's better that way. They got their fat check, the players. They got their magazine money. At the end of the year, like the $14 million gets deposited into the bank from the league revenue. Which for me, I'll probably just have them pay me bi-weekly. Obviously, yeah. Well, how much of money you want to take? All the money coming in the league goes to me, but save $15 billion of it. So you have to calculate it. $15 billion of all the league revenue, you have to save that because I want that money put into the league for next season. And all the players who are owed league revenue, you have to calculate that too. That way they get the check at the end of the season. I know I get like my $5 billion check every 2 weeks, something crazy. I'm making like $10 billion a month. Something crazy. Yeah. I made like 85 billion that season, something crazy. That's why the players won a raise. Guys, I know I'm making way more than you, man, but all you players in the league are getting paid, man. You don't make this in the NHL. Yeah. You're making your 46 million, $50 million. Star player who makes like $32 million, $40 million league revenue, they're making a lot of money. I know I'm making way more than you, but you're getting paid, guys. The NHL players don't make this, right? Yeah, Ivan, even though you're getting paid more money, yeah, you're getting paid, guys. You're living a rich life with this money, right? Yeah. That's why the star players in my league are going to be filthy rich, man. They get like their Lamborghini, they get their like nice fucking cars. Like I drive to work at the arena and I see all the players, they pull up like in nice fucking cars. The star players mainly, right? They have like $10 million houses, nice fucking houses, man. I guarantee some of the star players will have parties at their houses after games. Yeah, even there's a party at my house, and we all partied up at the star players' house. Sometimes I'll have a party at my house in my $1 billion house, which is way better than all these athletes' houses, right? But yeah, we party up a lot with the athletes, honestly, getting drunk and everything. That's why all these NHL athletes are like shit, because they miss out on the fun. Yeah, we miss out on all that glory, that fame, that fortune, all that fun, trends, and like all the parties and the hype, the crazy fans in the arena, crazy new show, like fans asking for autographs, fans taking pictures of us wherever we go. We miss out on all that, Ivan. Yeah, that's where all the NHLs will be crushed, obviously. They're gonna be crushed, obviously, right? The NHL athletes. Yeah, Ivan, fuck you, man. You're such a fucking dick, man. You do that, you're gonna crush us, Ivan. Yeah, they're gonna be crushing NHL athletes. Yeah. Olympic Games too. Looking at crazy hype for that too, right? But for the Olympics, I'm not gonna pay the players that much. Pay them maybe $250,000 for the Olympics. That's good enough, right? I'm already paying them enough money, right? They got like $200K for the Olympics, hotels and everything paid for, per dime paid for. And after the Olympic Games, the athletes will be partying up too, obviously getting drunk and everything, obviously. Duh. Yeah. Yeah. Right, there's no way Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky and Bobby will be crushed. No, even those guys are really, really going to be crushed because they're born in like a totally like different generation. They're Gen Xers, those guys. Yeah, man. They were born way, way, way too early. They're going to be crushed too. Yeah, I wish I could play with Ivan and be a star in Ivan's league. I'd be a legend in Ivan's league instead of the gatekeepers in NHL. Yeah, they'd be crushed, those guys. yeah, I wish I could play with Ivan. Everyone's gonna have that thought. Yeah, I wish I could play with Ivan in his league. Like when I play a game against Ivan, I take the puck away from Ivan. I cross-check Ivan, and I'm playing in Ivan's league. I'm part of that buzz. It's glory. Play with him on Team Canada. I pass the puck to Ivan. The fans are going crazy. Ivan passes the puck to me. I score. And the fans loving everything. It's glory, obviously. That's why they're going to be crying. Yeah, Ivan, you're going to crush us, man. We missed on all that fun, man. We had fun in the NHL, but it's not the fun the players in your league and your SHL are having. Yeah, they're not having the kind of fun that I'm having in my SHL league. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I wish I could be on the press conferences, saying for my team and all the press and the whole buzzing about like all this stuff. But yeah, that's why these NHL players are like shit. Because if you think the press in the NHL is crazy, it's something like 3-4 times crazier than my league. The press is like interviewing all the players and the whole world's watching all the interviews. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy buzz, man. Yeah, man. That's why the sport anchors are talking and everything. It's crazy buzz. That's why these guys are like, shit, I'll see if I start that league. But I highly doubt. Chance to play moves RPG, right? I don't think guys are sitting here. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, your league will have crazier buzz when they talk about Stephen Curry and Patrick Mahomes and yeah, man, it's even crazier than even that, man. Something crazy with the sport anchors, it's crazy. That's why the board of guards will tell me, yeah, if you want the league to really have buzz, you gotta be a star player with the other star players. You gotta train for like 3-4 years of just constant training. So you have to scrimmage with the best player, with the hockey players. That's how you know how good you are against them. I don't know. I trade in stick handling. I master my craft at stick handling. I master my shooting. I'm an amazing player. Or I flop. I don't know. I have the genes of God, right? Yeah. Yeah, everything you showed us with little training, we're impressed by. Yeah, apologetics. Obviously, writing a book. You guys wrote my fans, but yeah, Ivan, that's amazing quality. Yeah, amazing quality writing. Need a little training. Xanax is the greatest fantasy novel ever written, obviously. It's better than even Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I wrote a book better than Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, guys. With little training. Yeah, so I have the genes to be successful in this world. My raps, yeah, if you're rapping, some of it's a bit raw, but some of it, remember the raps I made back in 2019? Yeah, those were amazing. Yeah, obviously, yeah, you're an amazing rapper. Yes, I am. A little bit raw, but an amazing rapper, obviously. My stand comedy is pretty good too. A little bit raw too, but it's pretty good. If he's just like, yeah, I mean, your stand comedy is pretty good. That's pretty funny. Yeah, that's people no training, man. By putting the work, I can be successful whatever I do, obviously. But sports, it's tougher because you have to be productive. You have to be a productive player. That's the thing about pro sports, right? And guys, if you want to have the SHL just as good as the NHL, you now have to compete with the NHL with drafting. You have to draft the best players and sign on draft free agents. That's how you have a great quality on the ice. The best players, obviously, the best hockey players in the world. Bro, yeah, I mean, if you want your league to be the best league, you have to draft the best players. But if you do that, you're competing. Yeah, you're now competing with the NHL, obviously. NHL will be getting some of the best players. Most of the best players end up in my league. Obviously, that's how it works, right? Yeah, yeah. Almost on here. Yeah. You got your food up, and yeah, my daily food's here. I have my burger, my hamburgers. I get my 6 days off. That's why I love them. Wednesdays are my favorite days. Is once I get work over with, I get 6 days off again. The next Wednesday I work and I get my check next Sunday. Right? I get paid this Friday. The more minute I get paid, right? My $600, obviously. Yeah. 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 Well, VJ go to your games. Of course she will. All my home games, right? All my home games, VJ will be attending. Like, yeah, Ivan, all your home games, I'm gonna go and support you, Ivan. She'll be in the stand supporting me, obviously, VJ. But the away games, she will not. She will not be with me unless she wants to fly with me. But she chances are she won't be with me. And she'll be doing her music too, right? She has to work on her music too. The away games, I will not see her, but the home games, she'll be at all my home games, obviously, VJ, right? But don't forget, she's busy doing it. Because VJ's obviously going to do music if I start Pro Athlete, which is high unlikely. I'm going to be movies are VJ, but if it's not that Pro Athlete, Victoria Justice will obviously do her music. That's what she'll tell me. I'm like, duh, yeah, I'll just do music. Obviously, I'll make my albums. And VJ is a famous musician too, more famous even Taylor Swift, right? She goes on her world tour, crazy world tour. She'll get paid a lot of money for that too, because VJ now has the power to control. Man. That's why she cries, obviously, because she wants. Even that book you wrote's my ticket, man. The financial control, freedom, and power. I want that financial control, even with you. I don't want to be under the gates in Hollywood with a shitty career. Yeah, she has a shitty career. That's why she's crazy. She cries every night. She's a crazy woman. My wife, right? Yeah. You're not going to have these athletes do you know. Once you sign your mega deal, guys, you now have to take pay cuts, but you can still make your 10, 11, 12, 9 million a season. That's how much stock is in the NHL. Yeah, we're good with that. Like once you made your 200, 250, 300 million dollars, $330 million, whatever it is, $280 million, that's enough money for earnings. Even past your prime, when you play for another maybe 8 seasons, you're still pulling in your 8, 9, 10 million a season, 7 million a season. That's still, you still made an extra maybe $30, $40 million in earnings. I'm not going to have these guys do me. Like, I'm not going to have a GM sign a player to another mega deal like that. They're ripping me off. These players are not worth that. Yeah. Even Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes, and Stephen Curry are not worth that kind of money, man. They're not worth like 900 million, 800 million to earnings. That's crazy. They're not worth that. LeBron James is not worth that. Yeah, we're not worth it. Yeah, even the best players who ever play the game in pro sports are not worth that kind of money, man. You're overpaying them. For their base alone, they're not worth that. Yeah. You're overpaying them, right? Except for me, I'm the only one who's worth a lot more money than all these guys. I'm white, right? Yeah. That's what the players want to raise. Yeah, man, Ivan's making like his $5 billion every 2 weeks. We're making the peanuts. Yeah, you're making the peanuts, guys, but you're still getting paid, man. You're getting paid a lot of money. Yeah, you're getting paid, guys. You're getting paid. Yeah. Yeah, if a generational talent in my league made $50 million for 2 seasons and $20 million league revenue, they made $140 million in 2 seasons. Now, that's how much NHL players make for their whole career earnings. That generational talent player made that in 2 seasons. Obviously. So even though I'm greedy, I make more than you guys are getting paid. You're getting paid a lot of money that you don't see in the NHL, right? Okay, guys. Yeah, that's why the SHL will blow the NHL water. Yeah. Anyways, this is for I hope you guys enjoy the show. Hope you guys enjoy my CFL show. And you enjoy my SHL show, obviously. I know CFL, I'm a bit harsh exposing your league, but like your league deserves to be exposed because you've been doing this for 7 years and this is not right. This is not the right way to grow a pro league in Canada, CFL. This is a very irregular way of growing a pro league. No pro league does this. You're the only league that does this because you're just envious of another country's talent. You choose to just bring up random guys from a different country and have them be the stars in your league over your greatest Canadian players who are your CFL draft picks, and you wonder why our league's not growing. Or I could be wrong, and the fans of Canada just don't care about Canadian football. Anyways, guys, this is Rivera. Hope you guys enjoy the show. It's Ivan saying off. Peace. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Take a shot and enjoy the show with you guys. Peace out, guys. Only guys.